Since we've been doing Film Focus, I've always been a fan of films, but I seem to be paying a bit more attention to what's going on the island. And there's loads happening in particular this week, isn't there?
There's tons happening, yes. I mean, our guest last week, Christy DeHaven, was actually one of the founders of MannIN Short's filmmaking scheme, which is a cooperative of passionate filmmaking individuals with no experience to being professionals who meet every month and basically create independent film. And last night was our monthly meeting and we had some new faces, which is great.
So tell us a little bit about MannIN Shorts then, for people who don't know.
MannIN Shorts is basically a training scheme for filmmakers by filmmakers in order to create, as the end goal, a series of short films which will be shown at the Isle of Man MannIN Shorts Film Festival each year. We had our first MannIN Shorts Film Festival in September, which was a tremendous success. And we're already looking forward to next year.
And tell us about the projects that you've been involved in with MannIN Shorts so far.
Well, the one that I've been involved in to the greatest degree would have to be the Graduate Scene Stealer Challenge. Basically, Dave Armstrong had this amazing idea. He said, what we're going to do is we're going to take our favourite films, put them all in a hat, and basically we had to then pick one out. And I was picked as one producer, and Bev Lawley, who was our guest on the first week of Film Focus, she was picked as the other producer. She picked out The Shining and I picked out The Graduate. So I had to create from scratch the seduction scene for The Graduate, and she had to create from scratch the axe scene through the door, the "Here's Johnny" one from The Shining. So we had our work cut out, but that was one of the projects that we worked on.
And how do you feel like you benefited from taking part in such a project? Because, let's face it, you are a professional filmmaker anyway, but getting involved in these sort of things must help to develop your skills, I take it.
Absolutely, and meeting other people on the island is such a privilege, to meet with those creative people who are driven and wanting to learn. There's such a vast array of talented people on this island that I think in the past may have been overlooked, but through having MannIN Shorts, it brings us all together. We met in Bar George last night for our monthly meeting, and we packed out this whole area. I think there must have been over 40 of us there. Wow. And some of them didn't know anybody. Some were there as actors. Some were there interested in cinematography, which is going to be our next workshop. If anybody's interested in getting involved in MannIN Shorts, they can just type into Facebook, is probably the best way. MannIN, MannIN, Shorts, one word, so SHORTS, and it should bring up the Facebook page.
Okay, brilliant. So speaking of you as a professional then, and your company Real Vision, what have you been getting up to this week?
Well, at Real Vision this week, we've been prepping for a music video. We hope to shoot in a couple of weeks. And it's for a composer from the UK, who's also an amazing musician, Stephen Webster, and it's for his first EP. So the idea originally was to do it in the summer on a beach with two people in love, and now it's very much going to be a winter bleak beach with two people very much in love. So we're going to see how it turns out.
Exciting. You'll have to let us know once you've got it in the can, as they say. So each week we like to talk about what's going on at the cinema as well. Last week your one to watch was Argo. Did you get to the cinema to see it? I
was lucky enough to go and see Argo on Tuesday at the Palace Cinema. It really surprised me because I knew that it was about... It was directed by Ben Affleck, and it was about trying to get these hostages out of Iran. But what I didn't realise was the guys that they used in order to try and get them out, I'm not going to say whether they're successful or not because that would ruin the end, was they pretended that they were creating a Hollywood blockbuster. So they got a script writer, this is all based on a true story. So they got a script writer, a visual effects artist, and they basically, a makeup artist as well. And they wrote a script, which was called Argo, and Ben Affleck pretended to be the director, and they went out with a group to go and get the hostages, and then the hostages had to take on the different roles. And what was amazing was the juxtaposition of this shiny Hollywood industry and then cutting directly into the hostage crisis in Iran with women in burqas carrying machine guns and just chaos, complete chaos.
But you do seem really passionate about it. You'd recommend.
I enjoyed it. I think they did an amazing job with the set design, like I say, and the costume design, because it's so accurate.
I think we should go to the cinema and watch a film together at some point. We need to pick one out and go together. I went with my mum and my sister to see Twilight on Sunday night.
Well, that's this week's one to watch, actually, Ashlea.
Is it?
Yeah, funnily enough. What did you make of it?
I am a huge fan of the Twilight books, actually. I read them when I was much younger. So for me, I was quite looking forward to seeing how they were going to tie up all the loose ends. And there's, I'm sure it's well documented, a fairly big fight scene, which I was really excited to see how they would do. And actually, they did it really well. There's some cheesy / gorgonzola, a bit Edam, there's some of those moments in there. I was looking forward to it, and I wasn't disappointed, but at the same time I came away feeling like that's a chapter of my life kind of closed. It was brilliant, but it's time to kind of grow up. It's definitely a teen movie, I would say, and so for anybody who has not discovered, has never been into Twilight, I would say read the books, then go and see the films, because the films do them justice, but I think I'm maybe just a little bit too old for them now.
Maybe.
Which was a
I
bit
don't think
sad.
you can ever be too old for a film. One of my favourite films is Hook.
I love Hook.
Exactly.
Rufio. Yeah, and The Goonies. That's another of my favourites.
You can never be too old for a certain type of film. But Twilight was directed by Bill Condon, and it's interesting you saying about how you enjoyed it, because IMDb only rated it 5.8.
Really?
Which is quite interesting.
I think it would be different if I wasn't a fan of the books. If I'd have gone in and gone, right, I know nothing about this, then I probably would have scored it lower. But like you say, because I have that emotional pull and I feel like I know the story and I know the characters, I bought into it a little bit more than, say, someone's boyfriend that was dragged along to watch it on, a second date or something.
But what's strange, even though it did get this fairly average to low rating, that tickets have actually been really tough to get your paws on.
Really tough.
I mean, Real Vision have run a ticket giveaway this week, and we were granted 2 tickets by the Broadway Cinema with our little deal that we have. They said I could only give away for 2 certain screens because it was completely sold out, which again is interesting because in 3 days it took a whopping 15.85 million from the box office and knocked Skyfall off its top ranking position. So
it's a huge franchise, isn't it? And it's got a massive following, so that doesn't surprise me. I actually had to go to a 9:30 showing to get in. My sister organised the tickets, so I probably wouldn't have gone. Sorry, Emma, love you. But no, it's one of those, they're obviously putting on extra screenings to try and accommodate the rush, if you like. So you've given the tickets away for Twilight now then, have you? Is that competition done and dusted? When will you be offering your next pair of tickets? Do you know? Is this something you do regularly?
Yes, we try and give tickets away every month. The last month was for Anna Karenina. We've done several ticket giveaways before then. Basically, we launch a caption competition on our Facebook page, which is Real Vision Film Solutions, and it will notify people of a picture, and they have to come up with a funny caption for it.
So go on, search for Real Vision Film and click that you like the page, and the next time there's a giveaway, it'll come up in your newsfeed and Facebook, simple as. Brilliant. Right, we must crash on, Emily, because we've talked a lot today. I need to know now, what is your session replay for this week? I think you're going for a cover again, aren't you?
I am going for a cover. This week it's going to be Matt Creer with his song Teenage Dream by Katy Perry.
It's his cover, isn't it? I would have thought you'd have gone for his song Lanterns, because you very kindly come up and film the sessions, of course, and the tracks, and you were here for Matt's session, and at the end of his song Lanterns you very nicely edited in some beautiful floating lanterns.
I did, yes.
So I thought you would have gone for that, so it's interesting that you've gone for the cover. Why do you think that you went for that over Lanterns?
I thoroughly enjoyed the Katy Perry cover, and I think it's something that people can engage with. I'm definitely going to pick Matt Creer's other song Lanterns in the future. Yeah. It's such a beautiful song.
And he's such a talented guy, bless him.
But he is, and a lovely guy as well.
So if you haven't heard this before, this is from a previous Saturday Night Live session with Matt Creer. This is his cover of Katy Perry's Teenage Dream. Thank you, Emily Cook. We'll see you next week.